The evacuation order crackled through the fleet's communication network with the finality of a death sentence. Admiral Chen's voice, normally steady and commanding, carried the weight of defeat as she spoke from the bridge of the UES Constellation. All ships, this is Fleet Command. Execute immediate withdrawal from the Kepler 442 system. Repeat, all ships withdraw immediately. The colony is lost. Captain Marcus Rivera stood on the bridge of the UES Defiant, watching through the viewport as the massive evacuation fleet began its retreat. Hundreds of ships, military escorts, civilian transports, and cargo haulers all turning away from the doomed world of New Haven below. The planet's surface was already scarred with the distinctive geometric burn patterns of Vorthan orbital bombardment. Captain, his first officer, Commander Sarah Kim, said quietly, "The fleet is forming up for the jump to hyperspace. We should take our position in the formation." Rivera's jaw tightened as he studied the tactical display. The Vorthan hegemony had come in force over 300 warships, including their dreaded Annihilator-class dreadnoughts. The human fleet had fought valiantly for 18 hours, but they were outgunned 3-1. The evacuation had saved most of the civilian population, but not all. "Sir?" Kim pressed. "We need to move." Rivera's eyes fixed on a small cluster of signals on the planet's surface life signs from the colony's underground medical center. Dr. Elena Rodriguez and her team had refused evacuation, staying behind to care for patients too critical to move. 57 people, including 23 children, trapped beneath the burning city of New Providence. How long until the Vorthan fleet reaches bombardment range of the medical center? Rivera asked. His tactical officer, Lieutenant Torres, consulted his instruments. 14 minutes, sir. Their ground forces are advancing rapidly on that sector. The fleet was already beginning to jump, ships disappearing in flashes of blue-white light as they escaped to hyperspace. Soon, the Defiant would be alone in the system with an overwhelming enemy force. Rivera had served in the Colonial Defense Force for 23 years. He had seen worlds burn, watched good people die, and made the hard choices that command demanded. But he had never abandoned people who still had a chance. "Commander Kim," he said quietly, "send a message to Fleet Command. Tell them the Defiant is experiencing engine difficulties and will catch up to the fleet later." Kim's eyes widened. "Sir, that's an order," Rivera finished. He turned to face his bridge crew, 17 men and women who had served with him through 4 campaigns. "I won't lie to you. If we go back for those people, we probably won't make it out. The Vorthan will focus everything they have on us." He paused, looking each of them in the eye. "Anyone who wants to transfer to an escape pod and catch one of the last transports has 30 seconds to speak up. No judgment, no court-martial. This is my decision, not yours." The bridge fell silent. 30 seconds stretched into eternity. Finally, Ensign Martinez at the helm spoke up. "Where are we going, Captain?" Rivera felt a surge of pride in his crew. "Set course for New Providence. Full power to engines." The Defiant broke away from the retreating fleet, its sleek hull cutting through space toward the burning planet below. Behind them, the last of the human ships vanished into hyperspace, leaving them truly alone. "Vorthan ships are altering course to intercept," Torres reported. "Looks like we've got their attention." "Good," Rivera said grimly. "Helm, take us into the planet's upper atmosphere. Use the thermal layers to mask our approach." The ship shuddered as it hit the planet's atmosphere, its hull heating rapidly as they descended through the defensive fire of Vorthan fighters. The medical center was located in the ruins of New Providence's industrial district, surrounded by collapsed hab blocks and burning refineries. "I'm reading the life signs," Kim reported. "They're still alive, but the Vorthan ground forces are only 2 kilometers away." Rivera studied the tactical display. The medical center was built into a natural cave system, its reinforced structure designed to survive orbital bombardment. But it only had one entrance, and the Vorthan troops would reach it within minutes. "Can we beam them out?" he asked. Chief Engineer Walsh's voice crackled over the comm from the engine room. "Not through the interference from the fires and all that metal in the caves. We'd need to get close enough for a physical pickup." Rivera nodded. "There was only one way. Take us down. Land us right on top of that medical center." "Sir," Torres said, his voice tight with concern, "the Vorthan orbital platforms will have clear shots at us once we land." "Then we'd better be fast," Rivera replied. "How long to load 57 people?" "If they're ready and waiting," Kim calculated, "maybe 4 minutes. 4 minutes on the ground, under enemy fire." Rivera had attempted suicide missions with better odds. The Defiant screamed down through the atmosphere, its hull glowing white-hot as Vorthan plasma bolts seared past them. They landed hard in the medical center's courtyard, crushing debris and sending up clouds of dust and ash. "Loading ramp down," Rivera shouted. "Security teams, establish a perimeter." Dr. Rodriguez and her people were already waiting, having heard the ship's approach. They moved with desperate efficiency, carrying patients on stretchers, while the Defiant security teams held off advancing Vorthan infantry. Plasma bolts lit up the sky as the orbital platforms targeted their position. The ship's shields flared and sparked under the bombardment. 3 minutes. Kim called out. Then Rivera saw them, a line of Vorthan heavy walkers, cresting the hill above the medical center, their massive plasma cannons swiveling toward the ship. "Walsh, I need everything you've got in the engines," Rivera shouted. 2 minutes. The first heavy walker fired, its blast striking the Defiant's port shield generator. Sparks flew across the bridge as systems overloaded. 1 minute. Dr. Rodriguez was the last one up the ramp, supporting an elderly patient who had refused to leave without his wife. Rivera grabbed them both, pulling them into the ship as the ramp began to close. "Go, go, go," he yelled. The Defiant lifted off just as the medical center exploded behind them, consumed by Vorthan fire. The ship climbed through the atmosphere, its damaged shields failing as enemy fighters swarmed around them. "Jump coordinates laid in," Martinez reported, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. "Do it," Rivera ordered. The Defiant disappeared into hyperspace, just as a Vorthan dreadnought's main batteries reduced the space they had occupied to superheated plasma. 6 hours later, they caught up with the evacuated fleet at the rally point. As Rivera watched Dr. Rodriguez reunite families in the ship's cargo bay, he felt Commander Kim approach. "Admiral Chen wants to see you," she said quietly. "Something about falsifying engine reports and disobeying direct orders." Rivera nodded, still watching the reunions below. "Worth it," he said simply. Kim smiled. "Yes, sir." It was. Sometimes, Rivera reflected, the most important victories were measured not in ships destroyed or territory gained, but in the number of people who got to go home.